Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be discussing an adaptation that was not only unnecessary, but was executed so poorly that it left me, lover of bad movies, speechless. After that first after book review video, I felt that I needed a well-deserved break. Without further ado, on with the review.
Polos is life, 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 sleep all night and then Polos is life.
While doing research for my aforementioned book review series, I watched some of the older adaptations of Pride and Prejudice and Wuthering Heights, and reread the books so that I had a clearer idea of what to compare the after books to. During my research, however, the film we are reviewing today, Wuthering High, appeared in the related section when I was trying to watch the 1939 adaptation. For some reason, it's listed as the wrong boyfriend on IMDb, which means it gave me a bit of a runaround while trying to find the IMDb page for it. If anyone knows the backstory for this change, be sure to let me know about it in the comments. The film opens with Kathy lying on the floor in a school hallway and is monologuing about how her mum died and how life sucks and all. Isn't this kind of dangerous? Kids are pricks and she could get trampled. She goes to a party at her ex-BFF Ellen's house, not to attend, but to get her brother Lee, like Hindley, to go home. Her brother gets pulled over for speeding under the influence, and Kathy keeps monologuing throughout. It's so unbearable.
It's weird to be unwelcome in a house where you used to have sleepovers, to be ignored by people who used to be your friends. You're unmistakably alone.
At school, Kathy is an outcast, and retreats to the art classroom in order to draw and express herself or whatever. Edgar Linton, comes to check on her, and tries to get her to hang out with him in their old friend group again. He then confesses his feelings for her, and it's just weird.
I'll get your hands dirty.
You know how I feel about you. Since 6th grade, you've known. Just say the word.
They've characterised Eddie as this off-putting nerdy kid, which I guess isn't that bad as he was this posh twat who was always up his own arse in the book, and while Kathy did like him, she didn't love him. Kathy then admits to the audience that she got Ellen's boyfriend to cheat with her, and while her book counterpart could be described as selfish and heartless, she wasn't a cheater, although I suppose you can count her as emotionally cheating on Edgar with Heathcliff, as much as she tried to deny it. Either way, I feel like having her do this in the movie is unfair. When Lee and Kathy get home from picking Kathy up from school, her father introduces them to the boy sitting on their sofa, Heath. Heath? Really? Is that the best you could come up with, movie? Mr. Earnshaw elaborates that Heath, Lee, and Kathy used to play together as children, and that Heath is going to be staying with them for a while, as his mother, Mr. Earnshaw's best employee, was just arrested by ICE. This is another deviation from the source material, as in the book, Mr. Earnshaw just picked Heathcliff up from Liverpool after taking pity on him and had no idea who his parents were, but it does make sense given that this is now a 21st century setting, and you can't just pick up random kids that you don't know. Kathy remembers Heath, but he says he doesn't remember her, and brushes her off. That evening, she goes to bring him some food, and they have a discussion about their childhood. This leads to them rekindling a romantic relationship of some sorts. She opens up to him and talks about how she used to wish her mum's ghost would haunt her, and that her dad had nightmares that she'd be at his window saying, "I'm home, let me in." This is another reference to Book Catherine, who died and haunted Heathcliff. Given that this is how the source material is being adapted, I'm really not looking forward to the rest of this, as we are just over 20 minutes into the movie. Lee makes a crude comment about Kathy and Heath's relationship on the way to school, so Heath knocks his alcohol out of his hand. In response, Lee starts beating the shit out of him, resulting in Heath insulting Lee's relationship with his father. Lee ditches both Kathy and Heath, and they have to rely on Eddie and his sister Bella to take them to school. Kathy really doesn't get along with her health class teacher, and she and Heath end up destroying their textbooks in class, resulting in a class rebellion. They run away and spend time together on the beach, before going to some kind of underground party together. Heath makes this comment:
"Whenever you look at me like that, I'm your slave."
Which is so cringy. It's just a bad reference to some more dialogue from the book. Kathy and her dad have a heart-to-heart after he tells her he knows of her and Heath's bad behaviour at school. Heath also tells him that it's actually his birthday and he's worried about Lee's addiction problems. This results in Mr. Earnshaw forcing Lee to go to rehab. Kathy tries to sneak Heath into a party at Eddie's house, but Eddie's dogs attack her. Eddie tells her when she comes to that Heath just ditched her, although this later turns out to be untrue, as Heath is still at Eddie's house. Heath ends up taking a lot of jewellery from a safe in Kathy's house, which is really fucked up as it's implied to have belonged to Kathy's mum. The next day, Ellen and Kathy make up and get Heath to take them shopping for outfits to wear to the homecoming dance. Despite this, on the day, Heath throws a bitch fit and refuses to go. He also seems to admit to Mr. Earnshaw that he stole the jewellery from the safe. Bella then tries to get with Heath and lies to him about Kathy, which is very unlike Bella in the book. I don't like it. She ends up with Heathcliff because Kathy had already married Edgar, and so Heathcliff took the opportunity to make both Kathy and Edgar feel bad that he'd married her. Eddie is about to kiss Kathy, causing a fight to break out between him and Heath, upsetting Kathy and leading to the scene where Heath only hears Kathy talking smack about him and not her pathetic "I am Heath." It really doesn't do the original story justice. Mr. Earnshaw dies, and all of his wealth is to be inherited to Kathy, who is too young, and Heath, who has ran away to Mexico to look for his mother. Lee has been disinherited, despite coming back from rehab sober. It's later revealed that this is because Heath lied and told Mr. Earnshaw that it was Lee who stole the jewellery. Heath returns, the owner of the house, and he kicks Lee and Kathy out. Again, very uncharacteristic of Heathcliff. Despite his flaws, he really did love Kathy, and he did let Hindley stay with him despite him being his tormentor for most of his life. I don't believe that he would do this. Heath tells Kathy that if she didn't love him, he wanted to make her hate him because at least he would be in her life. In response, Kathy fucking kills herself by jumping into the ocean, and Heath is blamed for her death. I don't know if they used stock footage in a green screen or something, but the shots before Kathy jumps into the ocean look so fucking shit. This movie sucked ass. It's atrocious, and they had the audacity to give Emily Bronte a writing credit. No, this is not an adaptation, this is a bastardization. While watching this, I was also very confused by some of the side characters' name choices. The guy Ellen and Kathy fight over is called Lockwood, like Mr. Lockwood, the framed narrator of the story. Heathcliff's neighbour. On the subject of Ellen, I was puzzled as to which character she was supposed to be, until it hit me. Nellie Dean, the housekeeper of Wuthering Heights, and the childhood maid of the Earnshaw children. Why the hell would you frame her as such a bitchy character to begin with? She was a sweetheart throughout the original story. I mean, there's taking liberties with an adaptation, and then there's this absolute rubbish. Another thing that really bothered me was the ambiguity of Lee's addiction compared to the book. In the book and subsequent adaptations, it was made pretty clear that Hindley Earnshaw was an alcoholic, something that had been established pretty early on. In this film, Lee is even seen with alcohol, pills, and is even implied to use cocaine. I know that addicts can abuse multiple substances, but the focus on Hindley's alcoholism in the book made him more pitiable, particularly towards the end of his life as he was struggling. Before they actually make up, Eddie and Bella try to get Ellen to forgive Kathy for the cheating fiasco because she saw her mum commit suicide. Call me heartless, but this is not a good reason to forgive someone, in my opinion, if they haven't shown remorse for their actions and/or any improvement since. You don't get to be a dick to people, especially your friends, because you went through something traumatic. It also seems to be an overarching theme in the movie, as Kathy also talks about Heathcliff's behaviour in relation to losing his mother.
It does something to you, losing your mom. You're always waiting for her to, come back, make it better, say it's gonna be okay. And when she doesn't come back, you're just abandoned.
Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave any thoughts you had in the comments down below. And as always, thanks for watching.
Nothing like a polo to ease my mind. With polos by my side, I'll always shine. The blue and green ones are my favorite kind, but I'll eat the colored ones from time to time. Cause polos is life, 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 polos is life. Sleep all night and then